We are going now for agriculture, and we'll be joined by Ruutzman Ekobakun, who will be taking over for the next segment. Please stay tuned for agriculture.
Ranging from pest control through fertilization and basic culture practices at the farm.
Boiling the garlic bulbs. So to start, you take 2 full bulbs of garlic. Pest control on eggplants, what some people call garden eggs.
Oh, I didn't realize I was on mute. Ruutzman, what's going on?
Yeah, Kwesi. It's just another Sunday, and yeah, as usual, we are ready here to do what we know how to do, to educate our farmers as we always do.
All right.
And today,
over to you.
Yeah, let me just take a moment to welcome our listeners and viewers, our dedicated listeners and viewers who have been following us all this while. Today on agriculture, we are going to treat, looks like for a while now we've been talking about production and all the other aspects of agriculture, but we have silently overlooked storage and marketing. So in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be tackling this aspect of agriculture. Today, we are going to do storage of some agricultural products. We have a list of them, but today we're going to treat about 3 of them. We want to do maize, yam, and cassava, how to store these products. So we'll start with maize. Generally, you need to think about storage when you are into agriculture, because we normally harvest so much that you can't consume all in a single day or even in a week. So you need to think of ways to store it for it to last longer, so you can go back and then use it anytime. And for you to be able to store this, you need to have certain requirements in place. For maize, where you have to think about the moisture content. If you look at the maize, when you harvest it fresh, if you even use your hand, you take a grain and press it, it's easy, and you find some milkish substance coming out of. So there's a lot of moisture in there. And for you to be able to store it, you need to bring down the moisture content. You need to dry it, either sun dry. If you have access to other means of drying, you just use it. But we need to bring down the moisture content from whatever level it is. If it's, let's say, 100%, we need to bring it down to between 13 to 14%. 13 to 14%. You don't have to take away every moisture in it as well. To that one will make it liable to break. It will start to break because it's totally, completely dry. But it needs a little bit of moisture for the storage. So you bring it down to about 13 to 14% of the moisture content. The same way, you also need a temperature range within which to store maize. And that is, your temperature range is between 13 to 15 degrees centigrade, or 55 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So you need such a temperature for you to be able to store your maize. You also need a good air circulation. Wherever you are storing the maize should be well ventilated, because if it's not well ventilated, that is where it becomes prone to mold, insects, and all those things. So yes, you need to have a well ventilated area where you store your produce. Some people also store their produce in containers. We have small scale and then large scale. When we talk about large scale, we are talking about silos. Silos are basically airtight containers where they put the maize in the how do they call it? They put the maize in the silos, seal it tight, and because no air is going in, if even there is an insect in it already before, it is going to perish because the container is airtight. So yes, that is one way. And then other way is to apply some form of chemical, whether inorganic or organic. As we always say with this station, we are always promoting organic agriculture. So we go for the organic aspect. With organic one, you can use something like neem oil, even normal cooking oil. I used to work with the Ministry of Agriculture. There have been instances where we help farmers to treat their beans and maize with normal vegetable cooking oil. Because the thing is, once the oil goes into the maize, or the insect find it difficult to stay in it. A typical example is, let's say with our hair. I remember when we were kids, we used to catch lice and stuff like that. But you realize that when you put a lot of pomade in your hair, the lice can't stay there. It just runs along those lines. Like once you put oil in your maize, we don't say go and put a gallon of oil. No, it's just a little bit. Depending on the quantity you are treating, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture people will advise you on how much oil to use. So you just put it in, and then you put your hand in and stir around, so that the oil will basically be a thin coat around the maize, and that prevents the insects from eating it. There's also the bare floor. Like, let's say if you have a big room with very good ventilation and a clean floor, you can just spread your maize all around on the floor. Once there's a good ventilation, it will stay there for a very long time without perishing. And then finally, some people have facilities like cold storage facilities. The truth is, in Ghana, we usually don't have those facilities here, like huge cold storage. But we want to let our people know that it's an option, that if you have it, you can use it. Okay, so now we move on to the cassava. With the cassava, our intention is to bring down the moisture content to between 15 to 20%. We all know cassava contains a lot of water. But the thing is, when we harvest cassava, immediately, and then you eat it, it's got a lot of moisture content in there, and even the taste you can find. Once you keep it for some time, and then some of the water is drained out for a while, the taste becomes different as well. So yes, we need to bring down the moisture content of the cassava as well if we intend to store it. It has basically the same temperature requirements as the maize, between 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. It needs good air circulation. That is, like I said earlier on, the maize, cassava, yam, basically they have a lot in common when it comes to their storage, because they all need very good ventilation. they need a good ventilation to prevent mold and rots. And then, like we did with the maize, the same thing. If you would like to use sealed containers, when we talk about sealed containers, we talk about silos. But like I said, we have smaller sealed containers. If you have something like the drum, plastic drum with a lid, the one that they put this pig feet, we used to import pig feet in and stuff like that. Yeah, because it can also be airtight. Once you put your produce in, you turn the lid and seal it tight. You are good to go. It's basically the same applies to the yams. The only difference here is with the yams, the moisture content, we are aiming to bring it down even lower than the 15 to 20% that we did for the cassava. Here, our target is 10 to 15%. We are aiming to bring down the moisture content to about 10 to 15% of the original moisture content. And that, when we do that, it allows us to store the yams over a longer period. If we look at our local farmers, they have their local silos where that is not an airtight silo, but one built with bamboo, wood, and stuff like that, where they normally store their yams. If you look at the setting, they can get there in such a way that air can pass through easily, and that is what we are talking about, the ventilation. So with the air passing through, ultimately brings down the moisture content, and then that allows it to stay for a longer period. So with the yams 2 years, like I said, the bare floor is also another very good option. If you have a very big room, a hall that no one is living in or something, yes, you can just arrange your yams on the floor, beautiful on the floor, but make sure you allow spaces in between so that air can pass through, and that prevents molding. So on this note, I will end our session today. Like I said, it's a very huge one. So next week, we are going to talk again on storage, but on beans, vegetables, and other crops. And then the week after, we'll delve into marketing of these products. So as we do always, I will quickly break it down in the local dialects, so local farmers can also at least get the knowledge that we are trying to put out. Me na nomine mejamu ekuafo ene yasan bebio your program your friend agriculture agriculture TV so your friend no your friend saying that plan bia no and then the buy say yeba be no em say time bia no ye kire say ye si dua enoma mundua ni say mo fan so so mo man fertilize mo yen say na mom no ye nya ye no buy ni wia say de be say akra no buy no e ma na che no eya ye say da endwen ho papa nti ende no ye chesha ye no ye afa no broni be storage say de be say akra ya ye twa ye bro na ewie no say de be say akra no nti no efa na bro no ho no wo fa bro na wo say wo twa wie na nso wo de say ye hata man so bi film di me fan say nso na a woman no ni na aye oha like nshema oha na the person ya twin so na ma ne ban jichem du miensa kopim du nan nti you say you make it say ya hata na ma e friend say nso na woman no aba fom kra asana etumi akra akwa afi so also we make sure say baby we store the one so frama etumi ebo fem time bia if you so no your baby if I say container seal storage e betumi akra no e your containers no baby to say pra control drum na e pra control gum na so e woniti nti no that ade gum na what the niti no e bi mo kra the rubber e kata so first and na mo di tina hye so no mo echi nti boni fan airtight the band airtight, I say, from a beer crane near the moon. Into a boy cry, as she man fancy a bro now the book, sad anymore. One for drove your crank, and say, a boy cry won't because if from any point and come to a one crow, another way, you to me a crack, the fencing, yeah, no buy. I feel so good to me the way chemical. I say, yeah, station Hano, yeah, station there, yeah, no, yeah, chemical seminar there, yeah, organic, but yeah, the other ones, so just in case it will be, yeah, because you will do on my way, the organic and still on uncle, the trade the other side, but yeah, you been there and carry a pen, if anything, organic. You know, so when you're organic, now say, what the chemical. Or more, you know, you Minister of Agribusiness now. More chemicals go on better. Or turn out who with the epithet with Bruno. So, who can no man, Wahatama, and wow, how they go fencing bottom, with the go bottom, Papa Kego, and I can open the ground now. So, pack the beer from a bit to me after the time. Yeah, and the fencing. Yeah, said that we can, yeah, no, yeah, organic same hunting, yeah, no, yeah, chemical, but the same thing na chemical, I bet me, yeah, Emma, Accra, a room, baby to say neem oil, neem tree, yeah, young well, beefy, neem oil, it was me the same thing, it was me Accra, will not buy Emma, a fencing, and one bill, and I'm more yet, no buying a cassava, you'll be a friend silo. Yeah, will a bro crab be a sumpa until Mamma dog a cassia no more there, more than 1,000 bucks, no, maybe cook goose at them. When I say airtight from Uncle into the Guma, now, a fencing. Ama and one to me, and saying, I feel so, if you're no man, said you be cry your banching so. Banching basically, a bruno ever the same, or here the same way. That banching, and another say, yeah. I'm saying me can't say a Bruno. Yeah, target is a musono, a tree, I'm an abba, or Hamonti to him, do me and sap him do night. Banchino, yeah, the back do num copy me do. I say, yeah, say, yeah, be Hatama, a musonachi, a do some, a do type now, and no, and say, and also, you go through the same way, said a bonitino, Saba pepe, and banching anybody so almost edem a necessary kind would be baby from abefa home so opesa the chemical be treated or the treaty opesa the organics ways of the treated or the treaty now why what crime for fair then basta na e man check and sana I say you know say bia e ya da kwa koto say Anthony dem kwa e be stay kakra man what me aton na umboka dem say nde ncheche no me de be see next week you better aso e wo storage ya ho you be call other crops vegetables na they say they see crab vegetables na the next week no you be call abakoye eno na in 2 weeks time no you say it will be we next week na for ya to e fa no marketing say they be say aton you no buy no tambia ye do ye do ho ye we yan dream say they be say aton no ye be we na fe na ye tumi nton na aban na nya mane na de ntino I say start ye dream kwan ya be fa so aton ye no buy no nti em say be dey and then encheshe no be say me da mase bebre ye be say shia da say
me kodo buy forces here now who can buy it there no em say minim say be tie buy it there ni tree na ana me tie bro ni
what's it
no me tie bro ni bank no minim say can buy it so storage na me say ya na
me ka buy any bank no almost storage almost the same.
Oh, okay.
Difference even with the brown crab, like there's a basic platform we are money now taking those boxes, you
know. I see. Yo, Ruutzman, yeah, the CP with the education. I'm saying, working on BBA, yeah, assemble home gardeners and so. I'm a more
said something huge, you know. Yes, you're putting it together because once we do that, I said link up all the community members so that with time, you know, from time to time, you know, we share ideas and stuff like that, and then we can come on the program as well.
That's right. Because garden seasoning is starting here in Texas. Just today, yesterday actually, I put the first 2 plants in. I put 1 tomato, 1 eggplant. And when I say my garden season has started. Now for 2 seasons running, there are these notorious tomato hornworms. One withdrew. And I'm waiting for you to convene that platform so that I can bring my problems there for solution.
Somebody might be having a similar problem on when you're
solution to it. That's right. That's right. Me for now, maybe solution and me kwa na machomo na me komo. But how sustainable is it?
Naturally, no. Said who nipa cry, who nam. Now for to say you kun nipa edawa ubejina. You get away from there. For no bong say I'm mashing in no honma.
High deterrent. And so we got what pot and to say within that pot na omba. Maybe the next one no or attack you. And I need a more solid solution. Especially if they're tomato,
of course.
Hit them with a passion. Serious. And they are vicious. Or see tomato plants so are they back in the neck? Vicious feeders.
I'll try and look at other alternatives. Looks like they are all looking at chemical. Yes, you know, that way. Yeah. So, like you're saying, you know, it will be good to form that community, that home garden community. You know, like where I culture home garden community or something of that sort, and then we share ideas. For instance, solution be maybe by all means.
By all means, I'm looking forward to that. Ruutzman, thank you very much for this enlightening episode of agriculture. All right. Okay.